Hi, I'm Deb. Welcome to my channel where I talk about love, life, and a little bit of everything in between, or maybe a lot of everything in between. But today we're going to talk about anxiety and minimalism. So let's talk about it. Anxiety. Have you ever had so much anxiety that you were completely shut down? You didn't want to move. You couldn't move. You were just so gripped with anxiety. You had so much fear and feeling overwhelmed that you were paralyzed. This was me. Today, I want to share with you how minimalism changed my life when it came to my anxiety. It's been an absolute game changer, and I hope that what I share with you today will help you as well. So, before I begin, I want to preface this by saying this very odd statement, but it ties in. You'll understand by the time I get to the end of this. I am a huge believer in law of attraction, vibrations, frequencies, energy. Whatever we put out into the universe is what we attract. I am a firm believer that everything is made of energy. We all have frequencies and vibrations. Huge fan of Nikola Tesla. His work is fascinating. You should really look into it. Absolutely mind-blowing, fascinating. I just wanted to state that to start this. Keep this in mind because it plays into this journey. So, a little bit of history. I grew up in a mostly traditional Korean home. My mother's Korean. She ran our house pretty traditionally Korean. Even though we were in the United States, we were raised in the Korean traditions, and especially with cleanliness of our home. We didn't own a mop and a bucket. We got down on our hands and knees with a bucket and a washcloth, and we scrubbed our floors that way. We scrubbed our baseboards that way. It was spring cleaning almost every weekend, right? Spring cleaning turned into summer spring cleaning, fall spring cleaning, winter spring cleaning, spring cleaning, Saturday spring cleaning, Sunday spring cleaning, all the spring cleanings. And then on top of that, my mom had a lot of stuff. Our house wasn't messy, but it was cluttered. She kept a lot of stuff. I don't blame her for it. And I understand why my mom kept so much stuff. She grew up in Korea in an orphanage with literally nothing. So I completely understand how it led to her keeping her stuff. And I don't blame her whatsoever. So let me just say that the anxieties that I developed from my childhood, I'm not blaming her, and I have no ill feelings about that. I just know that that's where a lot of my anxieties came from, going along, trying to figure out how to live my life so I wasn't so gripped with so much anxiety, and be more present for my husband, be more present for my children, and just be more present in my own life to feel happier and more fulfilled. I knew I needed to do something to change this. And through that journey, I stumbled upon minimalism. I believe it started watching videos of Marie Kondo, and I found her to be very soothing. I found her to be very calming. I really enjoyed watching her, and the idea of the organization that she provided her clients was fascinating to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I want that. I need that kind of organization in my life because my house feels like chaos to me. Let me say something about that as well. I used to tell my husband, when the closets are messy, I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my soul. And he would say, I don't even understand that. It's in a closet. You don't see it. How do you feel it? I can't explain it, but I felt it in my soul. My closets are messy. I feel it in my soul. So watching Marie Kondo with the organization, it had a moment with me where I just thought, that's what I need. I didn't think it was minimalism at the time, just organization. One of the things that Marie Kondo did was she would thank their belongings and show gratitude for them before she gave them away. I didn't understand it at the time. I thought it was a nice sentiment. I thought it was very soothing. I found it to be actually very soothing that she did that, but I didn't quite understand it at surface level. Logically, it didn't make sense to me. What makes sense? I'm sorry, my dog keeps scratching at the door. But I do believe on a deeper level, it did make sense to me. And I discovered that a little bit later on into my journey. But watching Marie Kondo led to other channels being presented to me. And then I stumbled on minimalism from Josh Becker. I started watching his videos. He talks about a sense of peace in your home, that you don't need to have a lot of stuff. And as a matter of fact, having a lot of stuff can prevent you from finding that peace in your home and finding inner peace as well. And that is what I wanted. I wanted peace in my home. I wanted inner peace. So I continued to watch his videos. I ended up ordering his book, The Minimalist Home. Absolutely love it. I cannot recommend it enough. It is an amazing book, and it just makes sense when you have this anxiety. And for me, realizing it was directly correlated to my home. When I feel like my home is a mess, I'm a mess. Inside, I have chaos if my house is chaos. So his book was an eye-opener for how much stuff we have can create turmoil in the way that we feel in our home, and it permeates every area of your life. That's another story for another day. And so I continued the journey of minimalism. I knew that this was something I wanted to incorporate, but I needed more information because I just didn't know where to start. Then I came across, and I want to say Minimal Mom was the one who showed me where to start. Watching her videos, she said, start small. Start with your own personal stuff. Start with your closet. Start with your belongings specific to you, not everybody else's that are in the family. I knew my husband would be a bit resistant to it because he loves his stuff. And he, has shirts from a high school, and I could not convince him that rugby stripes will never come back into style. Couldn't convince him of it. He was absolutely certain it will. You watch, it will. We're still waiting for that to come back around. Anyways, I digress. So Minimalist Mom, I believe it's Minimal Mom, not Minimalist. Minimal Mom. Her videos really helped me take those baby steps of where to start with just my own stuff. And at that point, it was more about being more organized in my home. And so as I continued on this journey, I came across Fumio Sasaki. I can't say where I came across him. I don't know if it was Josh Becker who mentioned him, or if he just showed up in my feed, or if there was another YouTuber who had mentioned him. I cannot recall how I came across him, but I'm just thankful I did. I watched how he was an editor. He loved books, and his hobby was cameras. He loved cameras. So he had books everywhere because of his profession and his passion for books, and he had cameras all over his apartment as well. These were things that he loved, and he wanted to be surrounded by them. However, in his journey, he found he was more miserable than ever. He felt he had all this stuff that he loved, all this stuff that was his passion, and he was miserable. So he set on this journey to get rid of his stuff. And his goal was to own as few things as possible, that if he had to move, he could move in 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less. All of his stuff, one move, one backpack. I thought, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't get to that point. There's just no way. But I was fascinated how he went from such a maximalist lifestyle to extreme minimalism, but he also found happiness. He found peace. He found that inner peace and that joy again. And so with him, I bought his book, Fumio Sasaki's book, Goodbye Things. Let me tell you, this changed my life. This changed my life. When I say that I believed in the beginning, when I said, I believe everything has energy, frequency, and vibrations, this book spoke to that. What he wrote about in this book, it just made so much sense to me, and it just clicked that this is why I have anxiety. And you don't have to believe in vibrations, energy, frequencies. You don't have to believe that in order for this to resonate with you, because it's for everybody. Minimalism, I absolutely believe it doesn't matter what you believe or what you feel. If you have anxiety because your house is chaos, I promise you, try minimalism. It will change your life. Back to Fumio Sasaki's book. In his book, Goodbye Things, he talks about when you walk into your home, it's supposed to be a place of peace. This should be your safe haven where you come home and you think, oh, I'm home, right? That's how your home should be to you. But if you walk in and you feel even more anxiety in your house than when you were out and about for your day, it's because, and this is what he says in his book, his theory in his book, and I 100%, 1000% believe this. Everything in your home is sending you a message. Everything in your home is sending you a message. If you have dishes in the sink, it's telling you, why haven't you washed me yet? Are you lazy? You must be lazy because you haven't washed me yet. All the items that are on your shelves, and they're telling you, it's time to clean me. I'm dusty. Why haven't you cleaned me? The clothes in your closet, the ones that we keep because we are certain, I am going to get back down to that size. So help me God, I'm getting back down to that size. Here we are 15 years later, not back down to that size. Not even close. But what it's telling you, what it was telling me, was that you are overweight because you can't fit into me. I'm sitting here waiting for you to lose your weight so you can fit into me. That's what it was telling me. Everything in my house, and it just clicked to me. Oh my gosh. Everything in my house that didn't have a purpose was sending me negative messages. All the things I was hanging on to was sending me negative message. Those things that are like, what if, right? Clothes that no longer fit you. Those are what ifs. Those are a what if. What if one day I can fit into those again? I don't want to have to go buy them again. What if one day I need that? I don't want to have to go buy it again. But in the meantime, all of those extra things are sending you these messages that you don't have enough time, you are not good enough, you're not good at time management, you're lazy, you're overweight. They're all sending you these negative messages. And let me tell you how much that resonated with me. Let me tell you, I thought, this is it. This is why I have so much anxiety in my home, is because I had too much stuff. So I started just getting rid of stuff. And again, I had mentioned my husband was a bit resistant to it. He didn't like it, but he was okay with it because it was for me. because that's what I wanted. So he supported me in anything I wanted to do in the home. The only thing is when it came to his stuff. Now, it was frustrating in the beginning because I wanted my husband to clear out his closet as well. I rarely went into his closet. He would hang up his own clothes, put his own shoes away, things like that in his closet. And we had 2 separate walk-in closets, so I never had to go into his closet, just rarely. Once in a while I'd go in there and maybe hide Christmas gifts or something, or maybe I would put his clothes away for him on occasion, and it would just feel so overwhelming. It was nice and neat. His closet's always very neat. He always puts his things away very neatly, and he does take care of his items, but there was a lot. So I was frustrated in the beginning because I would say, why don't you, clear out your closet too, get rid of some of that stuff, because again, rugby stripes will never come into fashion again. Never. It wasn't nice back then. It's not going to be nice now, and it's not going to be nice in 10 years from now. Get rid of your rugby striped shirts, men. Get rid of them. So I wanted him to start, but he wouldn't. And I had to be okay with that. He was already giving me the freedom for the rest of the house. So when I started with my stuff, and I want to say it was Minimal Mom. I believe in one of her videos, I'm not quite certain, there were so many I watched, but one of them had talked about if your spouse doesn't want to go along on this journey with you with their stuff, just start on your own. Because even though they were reluctant at first, once they start seeing you getting rid of all this stuff and how lighter it feels, they join along somewhere along that journey. And that's certainly what happened. My husband slowly started coming around doing his own downsizing of his own closet. And then as for the rest of the house, I had only downsized some things. I started with duplicates. I went through our kitchen, anything that I had duplicates. Why in God's name do I have 15 wooden spoons? I'm not going to have 15 pots of sauce that I need to stir at one time. Why do we have them? It was insane, the amount of stuff that we had, all the duplicates. And then around the house, I started getting rid of just little things here and there, not a lot. My husband felt like, oh, it feels a little bit empty. And so he was a little bit resistant to it, but I continued with what I could, taking little things here and there and donating them. That is the one thing, was I donated. Let me tell you, I'm mortified. Absolutely insane. The amount of clothing, the amount of shoes, just the amount of stuff we had. And this is where Marie Kondo's being grateful for your stuff and showing gratitude, that's where it made sense to me. It started to make sense to me because the idea that these items, they served its purpose in my life. At some point, they had value to me and they served their purpose. So by thanking your item and saying, thank you for serving your purpose, but you are no longer serving a purpose to me now, it allowed me to let go of so much stuff so that it could move on and serve purpose in somebody else's life. Everything we got rid of, we donated, because I found that it was so much easier knowing that I was okay, that it served its purpose for me, and now I was thankful that it was going to go and serve purpose for somebody else. So I really strived to donate our items to shelters that gave this stuff away for free. For me, women's shelters, men's shelters, the toys for children, just donating them to where people could go and just take these items for free. There's a place on military bases that the lower ranking airmen could go get items for free. They didn't have to pay for it. You could donate almost anything. And that made me feel good that I know that it's going to go on to serve purpose for somebody else. So that truly helped me along the process. Once I got into that mode, I was like, donate, 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 donate. It's not serving a purpose for us anymore. Let it serve a purpose for somebody else. So that really truly turned things around, and it allowed me to get rid of things easier. Especially if you find that you're somebody that, well, I paid for that. I paid good money for that. I hate to get rid of it. If you think of it in a way that if you haven't touched it in a long time, it's just outgrown its value for you and your life. So allow it to move on and serve purpose and value in somebody else's life. So that's how I overcame that. And then it was time for us to move. We are a military family. We received orders to move to another city. So we had to put our house on the market, stage our house. We had our realtor come over and give us some pointers about staging our house. She said, you need to get rid of at least 75% of your items. Now, she wasn't meaning get rid of them as in give them away. She was saying put it in storage, just get it out of the house was what she was meaning in order to stage our house properly. So I didn't want to move anything to storage. So it really made me go into high gear with getting rid of things out of our house. And we did. We cleared probably about 80% of our belongings. And when it was all said and done, my husband was like, this feels so good. This house feels so good to have so much less stuff. And it felt good coming home because I didn't have all these things sending me messages. You haven't dusted me. What are you doing with your time? You don't fit me. Why aren't you losing weight? Even items that I used to have on the shelves, I would have vases and things like that. There was so much decor that I had all over my shelves that I wasn't necessarily attached to, but I was like, oh, it looks nice, right? You stage your home for your own life, right? Not just moving. They didn't make sense to me anymore to have them. When I would look at a vase and I would think, what is your purpose other than just to sit there and tell me that I need to clean you again? So that helped me get rid of those items. Now, today I do have vases, as you can see. I've got some decorations, but it's more about balance for me now. I only decorate for balance, so that way I feel the energy is balanced throughout our home. And I do like to have plants because I like that live energy in my house. So I do most of my decorating is just with plants. So back to moving, my husband, he really liked how the house felt. And that was him being on board for this journey of minimalism. So this was a few years ago when we started our journey on minimalism, and it's changed our life. And it feels so good to not have that constant weight on my shoulders, the constant feeling so overwhelmed. And I truly believe that if you're feeling this way and you are looking for a way to simplify your life to try to deal with your anxiety, such as I did, please try minimalism. Start small and you'll see how it can change your life, you'll see how much lighter you feel when you just balance your home and you balance your life with just the things that are serving you purpose right now. When it comes to getting rid of sentimental items, that is a whole other video. I struggled with that very much. I struggled because I'm a very sentimental person. We have 5 sons, and I wanted to keep every little thing that their little hands touched and made and created. I wanted to keep it all. I didn't want to get rid of a thing, and that was a very, very difficult, and I will make a video about that, how I overcame that and was able to get rid of a lot of items. But again, the books I read, Josh Becker's The Minimalist Home, Fumio Sasaki, amazing book, Goodbye Things, life-changing for me, absolutely life-changing. I am reading his current book, Hello Habits. I love that book as well. It's a book that just reinforces your minimalist lifestyle and your minimalist habits so that way you can keep going. And I don't find that I need a reason to keep going in minimalism other than I feel so much better. I don't have the anxiety levels that I had before, and that is all the motivation I need to stay on this minimalist lifestyle. It's been amazing. If you have found value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and please let me know in the comments below if anything resonated with you, if you are struggling with anxiety, if you feel like minimalism could possibly help you, or if you are like me and minimalism helped your anxiety. Please let me know. I would love to hear from you. So until next time, bye.